Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn the Page, Season 4, Book 11 of Twist-A-Plot, Camp Out on Danger Mountain. Are you prepared, Rhapsody?
For a camp out on Danger Mountain? Oh, no, the kids say I shouldn't do that, but I'd be so brave that everyone in the schoolyard would love me.
It's so true. It is. I do wonder, like, if we get into the book and it's not even just a nickname and it's legit just called Danger Mountain, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it. And I hope that's the truth.
I hope it's named after, like, William H. Danger.
Oh my God.
Like, it's entirely unrelated. It's just fortuitous it happens to also be dangerous.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't know that danger had another meaning.
Danger Mountain? Do you
Wait.
mean volcano?
Also,
There's a word for that.
I gotta say that danger has another meaning is absolutely gotta be an action movie tagline somewhere. Like,
it's for Dario Anga, who summarizes his name as D Anga, and it's like, this summer danger has a new meaning.
I'm
Dario,
Dan.
get in here.
I'm Dan Gurr. Oh,
Dan Gurr, hand in your badge and your gun.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this. But anywho,
That's right, and it's your retirement. Hand in your badge and gun. Here's a watch.
please visit the break room. We have a cake for you. Hand in your badge and gun. Pick up a fork and knife. But yeah. So, Camp Out on Danger Mountain by B.B. Hiller, who we have learned is responsible for the novelization of the movie Big, and the novelization of the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and the novelization of Karate Kids 1 through 3, and
The novelization of Superman 4.
the novelization of Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, the novelization of Ghostbusters 2, and
Before we make this feel like not an especially storied career, I will actually add Saddle Club. The Saddle Club series owes its heritage to B.B. Hiller, and I don't know if any of the Canadian or Australian folk in the audience recognize the Saddle Club TV show series, but there is an extreme cultural legacy to B.B. Hiller's work.
Oh, I'm not. Honestly, I think if you find a way to have such a like storied in with even with like the novelizations of the movie, like, I don't know, no shade there. Mad respect. It's not like
Absolutely.
Karate Kid is a small name. Like, I'm not a very experienced movie watcher, and I know all the movies that she wrote the books for. That's, you know, they're not just going to pick anybody. Probably. I'd assume.
They're going to go straight to the best. In fact, they're going to best Hiller. That's what
Yeah.
BB stands for.
Yeah, the best bet. Best bet Hiller.
That actually would be sick as like someone's call sign. Best bet? Oh.
Yep. Hiller has a brand new meaning. All right. So this is I don't know why I always take a detour when scrolling down now at the the dedication page, because there's been some weird ones. This one is so abrupt at compared to the others. For my Andy. This is nice.
What is this? Written by Woody Toy Story?
Andy. Oh, I saw that the other day. That movie holds up. It is also a little creepy looking, and not just because of, like, obviously there's the scene with the, I think literally call them the cannibal toys. Like, first of all, wow, but second of all, like, just the lighting in that movie makes everybody, like, Woody is the creepiest part of that movie, like. For sure.
Yeah, those big saucer eyes?
Those
Ooh.
cold, dead saucer yeehaw eyeballs are just kind of like, they're staring right into me, and I do not like it. No, thank you. I do not want to see the snake in your boot. No,
thank you, T. Hanks. No, thanks.
Anywho, you want to beware us?
I will bewarn us. Beware! Don't read the book from beginning to end. Come on, we've done this before. You're about to set out on a camping trip like no other that you've ever taken before. You'll need more than just a backpack and a sleeping bag. You'd better bring along all the courage you can find, for this camp out is not a routine class trip. You are headed for the mysterious Danger Mountain, where you never know whom you might find or what you might find you. If you choose your paths wisely, you can follow the forest trails to fame and fortune. Take a
Of
wrong
course.
turn, though, and the end of the trail might mean the end of you. It's up to you. All you have to do is follow the directions at the bottom of the pages on each page. But before you make your choices, remember, they don't call it Danger Mountain for nothing. Happy trails.
So they do call it Danger Mountain, first of all. But also, you know,
And for a reason.
yeah. Wow, why are kids these days just so obsessed with fame and fortune and attention? Also, every single book directed to them is all about the successful route being finding fame and fortune. What could this mean? Who could have seen this coming? Surprise Pikachu! Like, just gotta mention that little social commentary right there. But anyways, so to page 2.
Yeah, I do want more of these to have like the true ending, the good route to be like you got closer with your friend group. Actually,
Yeah.
you deepened the bonds that forged between you and other people in this human experience we're all sharing. Like none of them have that. Many of them have new bikes.
Yeah. You were willing to change and learn something new, and because of that, you now have the ability to make like a really good sandwich. You stepped outside of your comfort zone, and now you have a whole new skill set, and it's like, you know, fairly nutritious. It's kind of just like a win-win. You're like providing for yourself and everything, and you feel good doing it, and you gain energy. It's so pleasant.
That's an underrated ability. Being able to construct the perfect sandwich requires an incredible degree of visual calculus. You need to be able
It's
to
true.
correctly
The
assess all
ratios.
of the available ingredients, the correct ratios for them, the correct ordering of them. That is a complex high-level skill as far as I'm concerned.
The amount, like, here's the thing, important, under, you know, considered part of making proper sandwiches is much like the skill of making a proper sundae at a like ice cream buffet or like one of those like top your own ice cream frozen yogurt places. It's the number one skill is restraint. You have to
Yes.
practice restraint. You don't just put everything on there. You say, hold on, I need a vision.
Yep. What
like,
story is my
what
Sunday telling?
story is my Sunday telling me? You don't go, I want Oreos, I want M&Ms, I want chocolate chips, I want hot fudge, I want caramel,
That's
I want
someone who can't
strawberries,
decide.
I want gummy bears, I want sprinkles. It's like, you have gone too many places.
Child.
Child, you child. Grow up and make a proper tiny kid-sized frozen yogurt treat. Idiot. Grow up.
Exactly. I want to see one strawberry in there and a skerrick of chocolate. That's it.
What are you doing? What are you crying on the ground for? Just practice some restraint and make a proper story with Uncle John.
If you had a story in there, I wouldn't have knocked it out of your hand.
You bring it up to the cash register. Uncle John knocks on the floor. Another. Again. And then a musical montage shows, and you have to keep the kid keeps on making ice cream trying to prove that they have learned. And what did you learn?
We're not closing shop until you get it right.
He slaps a 20. It's ages ago. That's worth more. On the counter's like, keep the store open. And
A 20. I'll invest this in a
Wow.
house.
I'll invest this in a house apple stock. But anyways, to page 2, I think I said,
To Danger Mountain.
the light of the full moon casts shadows through the forest. Beside you, around the campfire, your friends are dozing or whispering to one another. As you slap another creepy bug crawling on your leg, you wish like crazy that you were back in your own room playing Zapman. No such luck. You're on your class trip, a camp out, and it's so far, it's a bummer. No excitement at all. You voted to go to Adventureland, famous for its double loop, the loop. Oh my god, full circle. Full loop the loop. Book number 1 of Goosebumps. Do you remember that?
I don't. Can you remind me?
Yeah, it had the word loop the loop, and it both sent us for a spin. I always thought it was loop
As they do.
loop de loop. Loop de loop. I just never saw it written out, and I was like, a loop the loop. It just
It does sound wrong.
It
You
feels
always
wrong.
say it as duh. Yep.
yeah, it's a D, and there's probably like an apostrophe in there. A double loop the loop roller coaster, but you lost. The nerds who voted for this campout must have paid off squadrons of been paid off by squadrons of hungry mosquitoes. You had thought that at least the destination of the campout sounded promising, Danger Mountain. But as near as you can figure out, the most dangerous thing about Danger Mountain is the mosquitoes. Shows how much you know. To your left is Ronnie Newberger with his weird hat pulled down over his ears. He has a strange, contented look on his face. Then you see why. The hat is covering earphones. Ronnie's got a radio that he's turned into WROC back home. Trust Ronnie to bring civilization to the boondocks. Turn to page 3. Maria Dussel is a real person and stands up to make an announcement about the Tall Tale contest that is about to begin shortly. Maria says her tall tale will be about a chief who lived on Danger Mountain 200 years ago. The winners of the contest will spend 2 days at Adventureland. Now that's the best news you've heard all day. Next, Mr. Marks, the biology teacher and class trip chaperone, announces the schedule for tomorrow.
6 o'clock, wake up. 6:30, bird walk. 7:30, breakfast and cleanup. 8:15, a 10-mile hike.
Blah, blah. You tune out Mr. Marks' incredibly boring schedule and try and think up all the tall tales that will get you into Adventureland. Unfortunately, your imagination is not working, except to remind you that how good pizza would taste after these burned franks. Suddenly, Ronnie's face changes from contented to astonished.
Hey, get this!
He cries as he pulls off his hat, revealing the earphones.
There are bank robbers around here. Yeah, sure.
You say. Ronnie loves to play practical jokes.
No, really.
Ronnie protests.
I'm getting the story on the radio. Listen.
Want to know more about the bank robbers? Turn to page 4. Otherwise, too bad.
I'd love to know more about him.
Yeah.
They say that a gang held up the National Trust the third National Trust in town this morning.
Says Ronnie.
They stole $250,000 and were last seen heading west towards the mountain in Lake Petawawa. That's here. They're armed and dangerous.
Armed and dangerous on Danger Mountain? Someone gasps and everyone starts to talk at once.
Okay, boys and girls,
Says Mr. Marks in his most irritating I'm in charge voice.
I'd better let the authorities know where we are. There's a CB radio in one of the vans, and I'm going back out to it. You're all to stay here and wait for me. Under no circumstances are you to leave the campsite.
Don't you just hate it when you're a hostage and the hostage negotiator's voice is like so annoying? It's like,
I know, it's like, shoot me already.
oh, that can be arranged. And with that, he takes off alone. The woods seem a bit darker now and a lot more exciting. After all, you think there could be bank robbers hiding behind the mosquitoes. Maria, apparently oblivious to the dangers lurking beyond the campfire, begins telling her tall tale, and nobody pays much attention at all. Turn to page 5. Suddenly, everyone is alert. What was that sound? There it is again. Sounds like a person yelling.
Come on.
Says Ronnie.
That could be the bank robbers. And it sounds as though they're nearby. I sure don't want to be found by them. Let's get out of here.
Your friend JJ agrees to go with Ronnie.
That wasn't a bank robber.
Says Leslie Mayhew.
That was Mr. Marks. He must be calling for help. We've got to go help him.
Maria, who resents the interruption of her story, wants all the kids to stay for the tall tale contest. Now you have to decide. If you want to run for safety, go with Ronnie and JJ, turn to page 6. If you think Mr. Marks may need your help, go with Leslie and turn to page 7. If you want to stick with Maria and the tall tales, turn to page 20.
I mean, Ronnie and JJ definitely propose the most excitement.
Yeah, I'm in. I
Let's
like
leap
excitement.
into the fray.
First thought, best thought.
I'm going with Ronnie.
You say? You're glad that JJ wants to come along too. JJ's very smart, and that can be useful. Also, you know from experience that Ronnie can be something of a pain with his practical jokes. So you're relieved to have a good friend along, even if JJ insists on always lugging around a comic book collection every place. Ronnie and JJ head out through the woods to the creek. After a moment's hesitation, you follow. The woods are dark, and though you're trying to walk carefully, you keep getting hit by low-hanging branches.
JJ,
You say, annoyed.
stop letting the branches hit my face.
I'm not doing anything to you.
JJ answers from quite a distance.
I'm way too far ahead of you. How could I even snap branches in your face?
An excellent question. JJ is right. There's a big space between you and Ronnie and Ronnie is in front of JJ. So who or what is snapping branches in your face, in the dark, in the woods, late at home, far from home? If you think
Far from day, late at night.
far from day, late at night. No one home.
Spider-Man.
No one home. What a fright. Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Krabby, Squirtle. If you think you'd better find out, turn to page 8. If you're sure you're better off not knowing, turn to page 16.
I think the philosophy that has guided our characters so far has been curiosity
Do it.
to spur
Yes.
that at this
Yeah.
point.
If you think you better find out, turn to page 8. Another branch snaps in your face.
Hey, who's doing that?
You call. No answer. You grow up in front of you, unable to see the pitch black of the mountain forest. Suddenly you bump into someone. It's not just someone. It's your good old friend JJ, and JJ is none too pleased. Well, there may have been something between you, and whatever it is gone now. All of a sudden, a strange cry breaks the stillness.
This way! This way!
Calls a nasal voice. It seems to be above you.
This way!
You hear it again. You and JJ stop to listen.
Hey, who's there?
You call, but the only answer you get is...
This way!
And now the voice is moved. Who is it? JJ has an idea.
You know, I think I got this figured out. All the voice says is this way. It seems to be moving all the time and it's above us. Maybe it's a bird, like a parrot?
Yes, that would explain it. How could there be a parrot so far away from where anyone lives? Parrots can't exist in the wild.
Of course not. They spawn in houses.
Parrots spawn in a bird cage. They are not an animal that can be found in the
You get a bird
wild.
cage, you interact with it with bird seed, and a parrot spawns 2 days later.
Only if you spend down the gems, though. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. If you have enough energy points, you do get the parrot right away. But it's kind of like, it's a tough balance. You might want to save your energy points for the gacha machine. Because then you could get you might get a parrot with like a little hat instead. So
I prefer saving it for the gacha machine in seasonal events so I can
Yeah,
get a
that's the
parrot with a
thing.
little Christmas hat.
I know, because otherwise you're going to be looking around at all of the different the different houses in the future. You're going to see somebody like, what the heck is that? Is that a Batman Begins poster? When did they have that in the game? And yes, that is a real thing that happened to me in cokemusic.com, a website that it was real and was definitely such an ad filled with ads.
Cokemusic.com, for real?
Yeah. Cokemusic.com was honest, but you could also make your own music. That was the thing, is it also had like a music making. It was bad. It wasn't good. But like at the time I was a kid and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like I can make really bad music and then you beg for thumbs ups. And if you get enough thumbs up, that's what you can use to buy the Batman Begins poster or the American Idol couch.
That's how Spotify modeled their system, right?
I think so. But anyways, parents that talk usually belong to someone. Should you follow it? Yes, page 10. No, page 12. I'm in. So far, it is very much just into danger. No questions. First thought, best thought. So I'm down to keep on going with that until we die.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear you say it because I felt like if I were to advocate for the same decision, I would be railroading us.
No, page 10.
I'm going after that bird.
You declare.
Where there's a talking bird, there's an owner.
JJ decides to come too. Ronnie must have been too far ahead to hear the bird. He's probably already at the creek. Ah, yes. I'm sure that the person who's missing... Anyways, it's probably not the bird sounds we're hearing. He's probably already at the creek. You and JJ walk cautiously towards the bird's call, and now you're pretty sure it is a bird. You can see it fluttering in the branches.
This way.
It continues to call. Quietly, you and JJ sneak up on it. You both stand behind a tree to wait for the next call. But it's not the bird you hear. This time, it's a woman's voice.
This way.
Then you hear the bird again, crying loudly.
No, go away. Run for your lives. What does a bird know?
Says JJ.
Let's see who's calling now.
If you want to run for your life, turn to page 30. If you want to run towards the woman's voice, page 41.
Do we stick to our damage pursuit strategy?
I mean, getting real mixed messages from this bird, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding, right? Why would he want us to come here to only want us to come away from it? Let's...
It's tough because I do trust birds implicitly.
Yeah, let's run for our life then.
All right, yeah, we'll change that. First thought, best thought.
I do like our previous moray of trusting all animals.
That I do think that I think trust all animals does take precedence over first thought, best thought. First thought, best thought, unless I have an opportunity to make friends with an animal. It does seem to be the running theme.
JJ, let's get out of here.
JJ decides you're right, and you both turn and run away from those creepy voices as fast as you can. You don't have to go very far before you come to a large rock. Often the case on a mountain. The two of you
don't have to go very far at all.
The two of you duck behind it, panting nervously. Soon you hear a rustling in the leaves and a funny, almost human sound. You both freeze. The sound is familiar, almost like a laugh. A very weird one. All of a sudden, Ronnie is beside you, clutching his sides and laughing hysterically.
Gee, Ronnie, what's the big idea sneaking up on us? And what's so funny?
You ask. Ronnie squinches his face up and says in a now too familiar voice,
This way.
Good old Ronnie, the practical joker. So funny, you forgot to laugh,
Oh, let's go to the creek.
says JJ.
I think it's this way. No, it's not. It's this way.
Ronnie counters. Whom do you trust? If you believe JJ, go to 75. If you're foolish enough to think Ronnie knows what he's doing, turn to page 63. If you want to just give up on these jokers and go back to the campsite, go to page 40.
I mean, you know, the ending here is putting a little sauce on it itself. If you believe JJ, go to this page. If you're foolish enough, if you're
know.
a dumb bum who doesn't know anything, you numbskull head, go to page 63.
Yeah, I kind of want to go to 63. But that might just
Yeah.
be my screw you attitude that never gets me into trouble.
I could see my way to doing anything except for abandoning these jokers.
Yeah, that is true. Let's just, you know what? Here's the thing. Either we pull a fast one on them with 63 and we call their bluff, or we die really fast. So I think it's kind of like
Let's do it.
the worst case scenario is not that bad. So let's go to 63.
The first time you listen to your friend Ronnie, you die.
I think we ought to find Mr. Marks and get the police. Don't you?
You ask? You both look at Ronnie, but weird old Ronnie, it appears, is at it again. At first, he's just giggling, but soon he is so convulsed with laughter that he can't stand up. Tears roll down his cheeks. You're about to ask him what planet he comes from when it occurs to you that the better question is...
Why are you laughing?
You ask it, and then you wait patiently while Ronnie gets control. Between snorts of laughter, he answers.
Well, okay, so did you ever hear of a wild goose chase? I just made up that old bank robber story so I could win the Tall Tale contest and go to Adventureland. Now I'm sure to win. You two are such good sports that I may even invite you to come along with me.
You've always really loved it when someone makes a fool of you, right? No? Well, perhaps there's a way to get even. Go to page 64. You kill
Push him off
Ronnie.
the mountain.
JJ,
You say?
you won't tell if I kill Ronnie, will you?
No.
That's a swell tall tale Ronnie made up. Don't you think we can do him one better? How about the true story of Ronnie's tall tale plus the thrilling true-to-life finale about how you and I took all of Ronnie's clothes, except for his thermal underwear, and left him to find his own way back into town? We can call it Revenge on Danger Mountain. But you can't do that to me. How could I ever face my friends? What friends, Ronnie?
You and JJ are going to have no trouble at all deciding how you're going to spend your time at Adventureland. The end! Villains!
Is this a good ending?
Villains! You steal this child's clothes and abandon him on Danger Mountain and go to the theme park. Congratulations, you've won, Satan. This is wild.
Oh my god.
This may be the most heartless end yet. And there was one where we I'm pretty sure on Werewolf Mountain there was like an end where we basically like killed Todd almost.
Yeah, we absolutely. It was very much a situation of you don't need to run faster than the werewolves. You need to run faster than the next person. And
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah. Wow.
My God. Okay, so now we understand we're playing a cutthroat villain.
Yeah. Now that we can do that, we can. All right, let's shake it off. Let's get into the character. I don't like animals. I don't like animals. I don't. I can't do it.
Well, hang on. We could trust JJ before having to go back to the animal decision.
No, I know. Yeah, let's. So is that 75?
Yes. It'll be 75 for us.
I was just trying to embody like a Disney villain, real quick. Like
Mm.
they don't like animals. Honestly, that's the main thing. That's number one. That's how you.
Mhm.
That's how
I
you.
don't like animals. I like singing in a bass voice.
Oh, yep. I like lighting from below.
I want shadows to be illuminating the wall behind me much larger
Yep,
than
yep.
myself from that front
Yep.
lighting.
I want my music in the movie to have a lot more brass,
Mm.
and I want backup singers with a really high voice going woo right after what I do. Like,
Could I get a who's who of comedians from the mid 1980s to the mid 1990s just performing in the background as the additional voices, please?
oh, you bet.
If we could get Jason Alexander involved, that'd be perfect.
75.
Ronnie, I've had enough of your practical joking. JJ and I will just go to the creek together. You know where you can go, and you can go there by yourself.
Is he talking about hell?
I think he's talking about hell.
You're really angry with Ronnie. Well, he deserves it, and you're glad to be rid of him. Soon, however, you begin to wonder if you're headed the right way. You stop for a moment, confused, but then you hear something that's giving you confidence. Is the bubbling of water, or is it? No, it's more like humming. Could be a person,
I can't see who or what it is.
says JJ. Yeah, well, it's probably Ronnie again. If you think so, turn to page 76. If you were pretty rough on Ronnie, and if you don't think it's him, turn to page 41.
We could have been rougher on Ronnie. We've done worse things to Ronnie in different timelines.
That is true. And also, 41 noteworthy is a choice that we could have made 2 pages ago. So I think that loops us back in on an older path option that we could have done.
Perhaps we should persist then and believe, no, it's not Ronnie.
That's
He wouldn't
not
do it again.
Ronnie. He's dead.
Wait, hang on. Is this, it's not Ronnie? Yeah, it's probably Ronnie. Oh, so no, this is if we believe it is Ronnie. Got it.
I mean, we'll do that one first because, well, I see the page.
Yeah. It's just dumb Ronnie out there.
You say?
I was trying to provide the context to start reading the page. But that is basically the line.
I'm sure it's just dumb old Ronnie.
You say?
Let's give him the stare of his life.
You and JJ devise a plan. You're going to circle around to the right, JJ to the left. You're both going to have pistols. When you get on either side of it, when you get on either side of him humming, you're going to jump him. Honestly, not much better. That'll teach Ronnie a lesson. It's hard to keep from rustling leaves, but when you move just 1 foot at a time, pick it up and put it down very carefully. What, the foot? Your foot? When you pick it up and put it down very carefully, Is it talking about how to walk quietly?
If this wasn't from so long before the era of ChatGPT, I'd be like, that's a ChatGPT description of how to walk
Yeah,
silently.
It's hard to keep from rustling leaves, but when you move just 1 foot at a time, pick it up and put it down very carefully, you are pretty quiet. Soon, you're both near the humming. Vaguely, you see a large, dark figure. It doesn't really look like Ronnie, but the shadows of the early morning sun play tricks with your eyes. You and JJ both attack, but it's not what you expected at all. It's not Ronnie. It's not even human. It's just a big stump. Or is it? The first thing you feel is a scratchy bark. Next thing you feel is the stings of bees that live in the stumps. Yipes! You turn to run, but the bees are really angry now. They continue to attack from the rear. So much for the idea of sweet revenge on Ronnie. Looks like you and JJ have gotten it in the end. Honestly, this is a more fitting end considering what we know of us and the fact that we were going to circle him and attack him. We were going to jump him, it says. We deserve this. This is a good end.
This is just desserts. This is the moral path.
we're anti-heroes. This is where we understand our mistakes, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or die because we're allergic, one of the two, which is honestly cathartic in a different way.
And Ronnie will never even know.
Absolutely. He doesn't have to feel guilty at all. Ronnie wins. I guess we're going to 41, which is
I guess so. This would be believing that it is not Ronnie?
correct. And also whatever the thing was a couple pages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You say to JJ,
I wish we could see who's calling, but it's so dark in these woods. I don't think it's Ronnie. The sun'll be up soon.
Only if I decide to let it come up.
says a woman's voice. You and JJ stop dead in your tracks. You can feel the hairs on the back of your neck begin to rise.
Where are you? Who are you?
You ask.
I'm right beside you.
She says sweetly, and she is. You turn your head to see a woman so pale she almost seems transparent. In fact, she looks a lot like the lady on the White Rock bottles, only no wings.
This is a familiar reference to someone, I assume.
I get that. It probably looks like a woman so pale that she almost seems transparent, but with wings.
Oh, so the Starbucks logo.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
It's harder to tell you who I am, though.
She continues.
Some call me a witch. Some call me a hermit. Some say I'm a madwoman. Call me what you wish, but understand this. I rule the forest and all that is within.
Doesn't that include us?
JJ asks.
But of course.
The woman closes her eyes as if to concentrate. You begin to get a funny, lightheaded feeling, then light-shouldered, then light-bodied. The gist of it is you're soon floating in midair. And JJ's right next to you. That's legit as it's written. I mean, like this, like that, like that. I mean, basically what I'm getting at, you feel light, and then you're like floating or something.
Oh, okay.
As the sun comes up over the edge of Danger Mountain, so do you. Turn to page 42.
JJ! What's going on?
You cry?
Psychokinesis. She just thought us into the air, but forget that. Look over there.
You really have a bird's eye view. To one side, you can see the police searching through the forest. On the other side is another group, the bank robbers. Right between the two, in their paths, is the campsite. You got friends there, and they could get hurt. You need help, and fast. If you think you could get the witch to help, turn to page 44. If you think you're going to have to outsmart her, turn to page 66. I don't want to get my kicks.
Exactly. I want to go to Route 44.
Yeah.
I think that, like, the witch has been very, very clear. She rules all, and then
In
she
the forest.
sent us flying into the air. So I don't really want to challenge her and splat.
Yeah, it's like, I can take you down. I am a middle school child with no abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I was tricked by another middle school child with no abilities, but I can take you, and I can outsmart you. Yeah, no, let's go to 44. Oh my god, this picture is incredible on 43. It is so scribbly, and oh my god. It's just so good. I wish this wasn't an
I love
audio.
that we're both smiling up in there in the air.
Yeah, so
JJ
basically it's a
and,
picture.
Main character.
It's the most like scribbly, like, I don't know. It's giving me like a little bit of like Shel Silverstein's child
Mm-hmm.
made. Like, so this is like, it's like Shel Silverstein grew up. Like, this was early Shel Silverstein is what it feels like
Yep.
before that kind of like scribbly, kind of more simplistic, before it got like a little bit more refined and like the rules became defined and set a little bit more of like what's intentional. It kind of reminds me of that. And there's the witch from behind holding hands up. They kind of look like little wing hands.
They do.
And
Yep.
there's little like beams coming out of it and two kids floating above a mountain cliff. It's pretty good. 44.
Come up here. Take a look at this.
You call to the woman.
I can see it from here.
She tells you. You can believe that.
I suppose I will have to help the police and your friends, but I can only move so much at once. Would you be good enough to hold this treetop while I cope with the rest of this mess?
With that, you are shifted to the branch of a tall white oak. Gravity returns to normal and you hold on tight while you watch the goings-on below with fascination. As your witch friend goes into a trance, one of the robbers suddenly turns and punches the one next to him. Number 3 goes after number 4. The 5th one jumps on the leader. Soon they're all tumbling onto the ground, too busy to notice their money-filled sacks floating in the air towards the campsite and your friends.
There.
Says the woman.
That should solve everything. The bank robbers will destroy one another and your friends will be rich.
Yeah!
You say?
Until the police find our friends with the cash and decide that they robbed the bank?
You don't like what I did?
She asks threateningly. Do you want to apologize? Turn to page 46. Otherwise, go to page 88.
Ooh.
I'm gonna let you take it.
I do like it feels like a very small trope of someone who is beyond reproach or criticism doing something and then someone naive providing that criticism to them. And sometimes they're like, oh, no one will ever talk to me seriously because I'm so powerful, and they like appreciate it. I kind of want to see if there's any skerrick of that going on.
I'm with you.
Let's
go.
Let's be mad. Don't arrest all our friends.
Yeah, we'll go to 88. Let's see how it goes.
Splat. Splat. The end.
Didn't anyone ever tell you to be polite to your elders? You shouldn't have gotten this lady angry with you. Remember where you are right now and how you got there.
Hey, lady,
You say?
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Too late.
The witch snarls.
Your friends will get all the reward money and you two, well, I'm afraid it may be a long time before the rescue team finds you on top of that tree.
She pauses.
Maybe that won't be necessary if you can just...
She's gonna relent, you think?
It's a pity that the tree has so few branches that you can't climb down it.
She chuckles.
Perhaps you can just learn to fly, eh?
Nice going, big mouth. It's capitalized. Big mouth. Like the Netflix thing. You got yourself into this. It looks like you're really up in a tree this time. Yeah. Looks like you're really up in a tree this time. The end. Yeah. We are. Yeah. What?
Was that ever a common enough like idiom or cliche that it was able to be used in the circumstance?
Looks like you're really trying to get into the Denny's, but they closed this time. The end.
Yeah,
Dang
familiar experience.
But they're always open. All right.
What do you
46.
have locks on the door? 46. This would be to apologize immediately.
Say oopsie. Oopsie. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You gulp. What?
Whoa, hang on. This is a quote.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just.
I didn't mean to criticize you in any way. I think what you did was wonderful. Our friends will love it, and the bank robbers are really done for. It was just fantastic, and I hope you didn't misunderstand my little comment. It was just a joke. You really are very talented.
Okay, stop already. Don't lay it on too thick. This lady's not dumb.
Thank you.
She says dumbly.
You see, you underestimated me. Your friends now truly believe they found the bank robbers. I've altered their memories. They will tell the police how they stopped the robbers and recovered the stolen money. Your friends will get the reward the bank has offered and become rich and famous. Would you like to join them?
If you'd like to be in on that reward, turn to page 48. If you think staying with this lady a bit longer has its own rewards, turn to page 50.
Rito, do we want to become witches?
Yeah.
It's witch time.
Page 50.
No thanks.
You tell the woman.
It's not fair to horn in on their reward.
How thoughtful of you.
Okay. I maybe want to go back because that's such a stupid reasoning. They didn't do anything, and we know that.
Exactly. In fact, we contributed infinitely more than they did.
Yeah. Anyways, stand up for yourself, person. Us. Anyways, how thoughtful of you, she says.
Why don't you come down now? I'd like to show you around my little home.
She takes you both into a cave that you hadn't even noticed before and begins showing you her tools.
Here, this is the mainframe.
What? We're
Oh.
mixing genres.
Yep.
I'm very confused by this.
What does she mean, mainframe? Here, this is the mainframe. She says.
Oh, it's fine. She'll clear it up next.
Yeah.
I tried to make do with the mini, but I need too much memory. Here's the disk drive and 2 backups, just in case, you know. Here's the lab to make chips, and this is the microprocessor that I use on the trail, but I have been having trouble with the cookup.
You've got to be kidding, lady.
Says JJ.
This is all state-of-the-art stuff. 21st century technology. Where did this stuff even come from?
What were you expecting to find here? Eye of Mute and Toe of Frog. That stuff went out with black robes and pointy hats. I built my computer with the help of a couple of how-to books and a mail-order catalog.
I mean, I'm impressed by the subversion. This
Legitimately.
I wouldn't have guessed. Something catches your eye.
What's behind this red door?
You ask politely.
No, don't go in there.
She cries. Is she hiding something? Turn to page 56. Is she really afraid for your safety? Turn to page 59. Yeah, big don't pay attention to man behind the curtain energy.
Mm-hmm. That's where the Eye of Mute and the Toe of Frog is.
Oh no, I'm so embarrassed. Are we gonna find out that she's not actually magic and it's just technology? Is that
Legitimately. I mean,
56 or just a I want answers. I want answers. I'm down to go to 56.
Yeah,
even
56. Let's get some answers
if it's a
first.
loss, it's a loss. Like, I don't, whatever, who cares? I want to know. Your keen observation skills have grasped the fact that although there's a lot of machinery in the cave, there is no hum of efficient operation and no flashing lights. Everybody knows that big machines have flashing lights. There's something phony going on here.
JJ, come here.
You call. Together you burst through the red door. Ah, that's more like it. There's shelves filled with jars of disgusting, slimy-looking things. Several tables are covered with beakers of bubbling solutions connected by glass tubes. 2 cabinets are stuffed full of bottles holding sparkling powders and murky liquids. In one corner stands a bookshelf edged with lacy cobwebs and packed with ancient, musty, leather-bound volumes. A real sorcerer's library. The woman follows you into the lab, and you turn to her and say,
You, madam, are a phony.
You're a phony. You're not. You don't have a nice computer. You are a witch. Phony.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
not.
You're not a modern day witch. You're an olden day witch.
You don't have games on your phone. You're just a witch. Now, was that the smart thing to say? Turn to page 60 to find out.
Let's see. I so hoped you wouldn't find this lab.
She says, now nearly in tears.
I've tried so hard to modernize my techniques. I'd love to chuck all these old jars into the garbage, but I've got to make a living. I'm tired of trapping newts just to get their eyes. Do you know how slimy they are? And I've gotten hundreds of warts from those awful toads. This sorcery business is boring. If only I could get my computer to work.
JJ here is pretty good with computers. Maybe we can help you. It's worth a try, right?
So, I mean, I want to get this straight. What does she want to do with the computer? What is the goal? What is the goal?
She's going to go to the online courses offered by MIT and self-train to become a bookkeeper and later accountant.
All right.
Financial wizardry.
She nods and tries to get the computer to work, but nothing happens.
Where's the on switch?
Asks JJ.
For what?
Ah, well, there's her problem. She never turned the computer on. A brief search reveals switches to the left of the main keyboard and on the rear of the CPU. Soon, she's in business.
So, she ordered all of these parts herself, put them all together into a PC from mail order catalogs and information thereof, but missed the power on button.
There's your problem.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I don't know how to thank you.
She says.
It was nothing.
You tell her not being any more right ever before in your life.
But after all that work, we could use a lift home, please.
She nods and closes her eyes. You and JJ get that light feeling, and in seconds, you're in the center of town within easy walking distance of home.
Weird.
Says JJ. You agree, but you still don't know how weird. Turn to page 61. Well, that was quite a campout, but it's over. Soon your adventure is just a pleasant memory, until one day you get a letter in the mail that says,
Congratulations! You are the winner in a $5,000 prize in the Columbia Publications sweepstakes. To claim your prize, call this number, 555-1467.
You call the number and find out that it's true. The check is being sent to you now. Boy, you just have to call JJ about this.
You'll never get what I just got. I won $5,000. Me too. Really?
What a coincidence! Or is it a coincidence? You know, all these sweepstake things are done by computer. The computer picks the winners out of all the entries, but you and JJ didn't enter. How could you win? Well, a friendly computer could do it, couldn't it? It's a sure bet that a newt's eye couldn't. The end. Magic
So
sucks.
is she more effective with the computer
Yep.
than with the magic? Because she did make us float, right? So she
Yeah.
is traditionally effective.
I mean, you couldn't forge entry into a sweepstakes with magic, probably. Unless you probably actually could. I think you could.
So she's better at hacking than at magic.
Is she really good with computers or really bad at magic? That's what I need to know. Like-
Exactly. Like Fly might be her own. No, she
one
controlled.
trick.
She
No, yeah,
did
that's right. She changed-
psychokinesis on them.
Yeah, she changed somebody's memory. Can't you just be like, oh, she rewrites someone's memory and say, like, these kids won the sweepstakes?
Yep.
I-
It just seems like she's going through a lot of effort to decrease her potential power.
I think she's just burnt out. I
Yeah.
think she's just burnt out on magic and doesn't want to admit it. I don't think she, I
Yeah,
think
she'd
it's
do a
just
lot
like-
better if she went back to what she knows, but she doesn't really want to do that.
Yeah, it's like
I get you.
yeah, just want to expand the horizons and hack sweepstakes to defraud
Mm.
companies of their money. Magic.
Also, for what it's worth, like, is this anything near the prize that the other guys got for catching the criminals? Like, are we still getting the C tier prize here?
You know, you could think that, but also, who knows how many more surprise sweepstake wins we're gonna be getting?
Exactly.
This
This
might
might
just
be
be the
rigged so
first.
that we get this monthly. That would be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I don't know. Maybe things are starting to look up for the old swap from magic to tech. But
Yeah, I'm back on board.
I'm back on board. Anyways, I mean, good ending, unequivocal,
Mhm.
good ending, silly ending. I don't want any more endings. This is my ending.
I imagine any other variant of a good ending would be less good than this ending.
It's also, I would never have guessed that this is where this would go.
Yep.
In a million years would I guess a witch that's self-conscious about practicing traditional witchy magic and actually wants to just be good at computers. I wouldn't have assumed. This subverted my expectations big time, and I do not want to get another ending that does not subvert my expectations.
Fully understood and agreed. I do love it when they take a trope and then just turn left.
Yeah. This is just, I mean, I have not seen this one yet. So with that, I'm pleased, I'm excited. I'm out. You got any other thoughts on this one? This is a wild one.
Not in particular. I really do like the art from the center of the book, as you'd mentioned. I think the best way to describe it is as you did, of like an early Shel Silverstein. The line work on it in particular comes to mind. I don't know. I'm just especially pleased with the subversion at the end there. Like, it
Yeah.
felt like we were on, a very, very similar story to things that we've heard before, until the witch turns up.
Yeah, until
And then it goes left again.
Yeah, the only thing that it needed is if she had an enemy that was a tech wizard. Feels like the
Who's
only
trying
thing
to
missing.
get back into the old ways?
Yeah,
I see.
he's a tech wizard who's trying to Google how to do magic. And then they find each other, and it's true love. Anyway, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it as it was wild. The writing
The
style
tech
on
wizard would be Mr. Marks. It's secretly
it. Oh
Mr.
my
Marks.
god! You solved it.
And
You
the
cracked
tech
it.
is a Casio wristwatch that he has that he uses to do calculations on the fly.
Oh my god, that's hot. All right. Well,
All right, can we get a rewrite on this one?
yeah, it's a
BB Hiller,
snap. Come on.
second
All right.
draft.
Second draft, please. Thank you. But speaking of segues, who is our wonderful supporter producer for this episode from patreon.com/TurnToPageCast?
I always have the feeling that I haven't updated my iterator through the list, and I'm pretty sure that I have. But if not, just second week in a row for the same person. A special thanks to the executive producer for the episode, Joa. Much appreciated for supporting over on the Turn to Page Patreon. Patreon.com/TurnToPageCast. The executive producers are pulled from the hardcover tier or above over there. A special thanks this episode to Joa, but much appreciated to each and every person supporting the podcast through the patron form for it. There are many other ways to support the podcast, though, so Rita, why don't you tell about some of them?
Indeed. But first of all, indeed, a very special thank you for the second week in a row to Joa. Do appreciate
It was? Okay.
Yeah, do appreciate your support again. You absolute hero. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll say, yeah, big thank you. There's easy, free ways to support. You can either go leave, positive review on whatever service you are listening to the podcast on. There's also a YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@turntopagecast. We upload the videos over there as well, and you can go and like the videos, comment on those videos, chat around with the other people who watch the videos. If you have things you want to talk about, that's a great place to do it. If you have things you want to say to us privately, we have an email. You can shoot an email to turntopagecast@gmail.com if you want to send something privately to us. But hey, that is that. Going to do it here for this week. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Adios.